Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this week's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this loop and the triangle start for alpha bracelets. I already have a video like this for normal bracelets, but for alphas there is a difference, so I decided to make one for alphas. So this is the bracelet that I have as my example today. It is this super cute squirrel alpha that I really like how it turned out. And if you want to see a closer up picture, you can go to my Instagram, which is @KnottedByDemi. I will leave a link in the description. You can go check that out and also go follow me. So if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to go do that and like, comment, and share. So without further ado, let's get started. So for this bracelet, I am going to be doing a polar bear alpha, which is pattern number 62564. I will leave that in the description as well. And so for this alpha, I need 12 bass strings. So I went ahead and cut those. So I have 6 on one side and 6 on the other. And since you're doing a loop, you do need to have them connected. So I only cut 6 long ones and then I folded in half to make 12. And then this color is my leading string. And I just attach that like a normal loop on my string. The actual loop itself isn't different from a normal loop. This triangle start is. So I've just tied on my string and then I'm going to go ahead and start making a regular loop. Alright, so I've just put it on my clipboard and you guys know how to make a loop. It's pretty simple. You just take your leading string and you just go forward, backward knots on your bracelet on all of the strings until it's as long as you want it to. And I have a tutorial on all of the basic knots that I released, and I'll leave that linked in the description. So I normally do about 5 to 6 knots on each side, depending on how thick the bracelet is, because thicker bracelets need bigger loops. But as you can see, I've done 5 knots so far, so I'm gonna stop, and I'm going to move on to the other side, because I like going in increments on each side to make sure it's even. Now to continue on the other side, you do the exact same thing. So you take your leading string and you just go forward, backward as many times as you want. And every so often you can just stop and fold your loop to see how long it is, like when you actually fold it. I like having a bracelet next to me that I like the size of the loop so that I can compare them. So I'll take my example loop again, and when you fold it, you can see that I have to make it a lot longer. So I'm going to make it a little longer and then I'll be back once I do that. Alright, so now that I finished the actual loop, what I have to do is I have to fold it and I'm gonna have to put it in my clipboard. So we're just going to put it on my clipboard. Like so. Alright, so the next step is creating the actual triangles at the top. I'm going to keep this here for reference. So you're going to start off by choosing a half to work with, and you're going to move your bass strings to the right and your leading string to the left. And now you're going to split your bass strings in half. Try and go from the loop and try and get it as even as possible. So try and look and see which ones tend to go to the right and which ones tend to go to the left, and try and split it that way. So I'm going to do that, and I think that that's pretty good. So I'm going to move my clipboard down a bit so you guys can see what I'm working on. There you go. So something like that. Keep this here. All right. So something like that is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, so after you've split it in half, you're going to start by doing a forward backward knot on the first bundle. Since I'm doing the straight edges technique, I'm doing forward backward. So you do a forward backward knot just like so, and then on the second bundle you're going to do a forward backward again, so that you're pretty much just separated this bundle into 2 little pieces. So just like that, we've got our 2 knots on the 2 bundles. And so now we're going to pretty much repeat the same thing. Except now I'm going to split each bundle into 2 and 1. And so now I'm going to take the string, do a forward backward on the 2, which is outwards. Then I'm going to knot on the singular string. This is just going to be a forward knot. Then I'm going to do a forward knot on this one as well. And then once I get to the bundle on the edge, I'm going to do a forward backward. Just like that. So now if I zoom in, you can see that it's starting to form. Just like that. And now the last step is going to be to split each of the bundles into two again, and then just knotting on all of them. So we're going to split them into two, and I'm going to do a forward backward knot on the first one. Then a forward knot on this one. Then a forward knot on this one. And I'm just going to do this all the way until the end. Just like that. You're going to keep going. Try and make the knots as neat as possible. So you're just going to go and then split the last bundle into two. And then, perfect. Just like so. I've finished one side, and now what you're gonna do is you can take your nail and you can try and push all of the knots a little up to not show as much of the bass strings, because this is gonna happen no matter how good you are at alphas. So just always push them up so that it can be tighter. And so now we just repeat that exact same process on the other side. So I'm going to put this under my clipboard and I'll be right back. All right, so now you're going to have to look at your pattern and see where the leading string comes from. So since my pattern is starting with just a background, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to make it easier for myself, and I'm just going to do the natural order. So again, we're gonna split it into two. You're going to do a backward forward knot on the right one, and then a forward backward knot on the left one, just like so. Then we're going to split each bundle into 2 and 1, and then same thing here, 2 and 1. Now we're going to take my string and do a backward forward on the leftmost bundle, then do a forward knot on this single, then do another forward on this single string, and then a forward backward on this last one. And then lastly, we're going to split all of the bundles into one, and so now we're going to do a forward backward on the last one, and then a forward all the way until I get to the last string. And then once I get to that last string, then I'm going to do a forward backward. So we have this string, and then split this last bundle into 2, do a forward knot on this first one, and then a forward backward knot on this one. Perfect. So just like that, I've gotten it here. So now what I'm going to have to do is, since both of my strings are in the middle, I'm going to just choose one to move it to the end. So I'm just going to move this one to the end. And then you're just going to start off by really just doing a normal row. And again, since I'm doing straight edge, I'm going to do a forward backward. And now I'm just going to do one knot on each of the strings. Got 2, 3, got 4, and 5. So as you can see, I just made it to the end of this triangle. So now I'm just going to continue on the other triangle. And this is a very important knot. You have to make sure that you do it tight, because this is what connects the bracelet. So I try and do it as tight as I can. There we go. And then you just continue knotting on all of these strings. You're going to move this the second leading string to the back, because when you run out of this one, then you can just use that until they run out, and then you add more string. just like that. I'm going to go all the way to the end. And then once I get to the end, I'm going to be doing the forward backward knot. Just like that. So now you can see that I've done the loop, and I've also done this. So now it is ready for me to just start the bracelet, because as you can see, it's connected. And the loop might not look very neat right now, but as you start building onto your bracelet, it'll look better. So now I'm going to do a few more rows, and then I'll come back to show you how it takes shape. So as you can see, I've done a bit of my pattern and it's starting to take shape. And so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do a beginning loop for your bracelets. I will also be releasing how to end them later on once I actually make this bracelet. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!